you reached the verdict?
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Now we're at the house with MJ. So, I dive into things usually right away, and with what I've noticed, I'm always asking about 2023, so I want to kind of wait till the end for that one. But do you want to tell everybody what it is that you do and some of the avenues that you're affiliated with?
Well, I'm a photographer, as you know. I really enjoy working with small businesses, even large businesses like Royal Bank and that. I'm always trying to show people the inner beauty of themselves as well, because it's amazing how hard we are on ourselves, and there's other people seeing us that we don't see until we actually look at a photo that we're like, holy crap, wow, that's me. You know,
That's me there?
yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I do a bit of work with bands, as you know, of course. I really love doing the behind the scenes stuff. It's so neat to see everything done behind the scenes and then seeing the final product. So intriguing.
Yeah.
So intriguing.
Do you still have the studio?
Yes, I do. I'm going on 4 years there.
Ooh.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats. Seriously.
Heck yeah.
That's
Thanks,
a sweet place. I love the setup of the white and the black walls.
Yeah.
Great
Yep.
for photo shoots. Like for any bands that are looking to get some cool like indoor shots done, MJ Studio, I'll post a link in the comments. But yeah, very good spot to go and check out. But I mean, I'm biased, so I've worked with you there a few times. But it seriously, I wouldn't preach about it unless I meant every word. So
Appreciate it. Yeah, so on top of the photography, it's my nonprofit organization, Higher Ground, as you know. We're looking to make a difference in other people's lives and really helping support them with the things that they need in life. Every 2 weeks-ish, people get evicted from their tents and torn down by the Edmonton Police Services, mainly because of health hazards and risks that come up with that and the fires that have been going on, and
right.
they end up with nothing, and these people need some supports. So yeah, we're just looking to help make a difference in people's lives and help them actually get through this. And as we grow bigger, it's going to have so much more avenues to it. I've been working on a business plan for Higher Ground and for some of the little things that we're going to be doing within that.
Oh, cool.
Oh man, school's been interesting.
Nice.
I've been
Nice.
definitely using it to my advantage. So.
That's awesome. So I've been curious, where was the thought to start that? Like, what made you want to start this organization from the hearts of hardworking people like ourselves? Like, do you want to dive into that a little bit?
So when I was younger, I was homeless myself as a child here in Edmonton with my mom. In Vancouver, in Lethbridge, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. So a lot
Homeless
of
in all
places.
those spots?
Yeah.
Oh,
Calgary, even with my mom as a kid. It was hard. So when I was in Vancouver, I finally had a chance to get off the streets and actually stay off of them. Finally, I was done that cycle that keeps going around where I'm got a house, I lose it because I let some other friends in because I feel so bad for them, and then I'm now kicked out, and like all the rigmarole is done. I found somebody that believes in me, and that changed my life. You know, having somebody actually support me in any way that they could. A homeless youth resource center in Vancouver, Gordon House. They had a youth services division, which is now closed. They made a huge difference in my life. They furnished my place. They got me food, and they had a little food bank within their organization. They got me set up, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't still be here. So I found that when I got to sit on the board with Vancouver Foundation after getting on my feet, that they were proposed with a couple different homeless youth resource centers that they were going to allocate a large sum of funds between. Places like Directions, Covenant House, the Gordon House Youth Services, there's a couple other ones, and I was there to tell them about my experience and what worked for me, what helped, and kind of just have my voice be heard, and other people that were in my shoes, have them be heard too.
right.
Gordon House didn't get the funding and had to shut their doors. And that still kind of brings up a bit of emotion.
Right.
So seeing that there's organizations out there that do make a difference and then they just shut down, it's like I relied on them. And I know that there are people now that are starting to rely on us being there on Tuesday nights.
This is true.
You know, I want to keep going. I want to give back for everything that I was given. And, you know, it's the least I can do.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It's making a huge impact. I hope you know that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've noticed that some of the people that come there and say, you know, what you guys are doing is like God's work and that, and I, like, whether you're religious or not, it's still nice to hear that there's people out there that see what everyone involved is doing and, you know, appreciate it, because it's hard, and I kind of want to dive into Higher Ground a little bit with, like, the thing that I admire about it is that it's not funded by government. No. It's not funded by a religious group of any kind or any sort.
Nope.
And it's just, like I said, just hardworking people that work a 9-to-5 kind of sort of deal throughout the week and then come and give time to those that that need it, and they're passionate about giving back. And yeah, that's really cool. So all the funding that and donations that you get is just from random people, right? I just got to go check something on the way, but I'm going to listen to you tell this part.
Yeah. So primarily we get donations from, like, all over the place, whether it's just individuals, friends, family, co-workers. I've even been able, with my photography business, my printer for my photos, they've actually started giving us donations when they've got some too. And it's beautiful to see different organizations that I know people at, they're starting to be like, oh, we can make a difference too. And so I'm part of BNI, and they've even helped support us. We're a great chapter, so many supportive people there. I'm blessed to be with them, and like they get so excited.
Yeah.
Like Carol, she goes to the Dollarama. She'll pack a whole bag up for me, and I call them buddy bags. And so I have a list that I hand out, and people get that. And she just, the way that she lights up, she's like, look what I got, MJ, look what I got.
Nice.
I can help somebody else out.
Totally.
You know? So it's the community, really. Everybody's supporting one another.
Yeah. It's nice how this program brings together so many people of different things, you know, like I'll go out and do snow removal, and then there's, you know, photographers, and then Paul was working with rebar, but, you know, it's just like so many different people there, and it's cool. It's cool to be a part of. So thanks for letting me join your team, and
we're grateful to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate being on the front lines every Tuesday that we're out there handing out the goods. So yeah, again, very cool organization to check out, Higher Ground. Yeah, can't say enough good things. So
yeah, higherground.yag.
Yeah, there you go, .yag.
That's fun.
And so, is there any future plans with Higher Ground? That I heard you mention that you're kind of doing little side things. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
A little bit. I'll be a little vexed for getting a couple of the particulars done. I have another month to finish up the plans, so
nice.
We're getting there. It's the home run, small home stretch there. Home run.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things that I observed throughout my experiences is that people that end up on the streets, over time they don't learn certain skills, or they unlearn them because they're not using them. Right. There's things that they just don't know, like how to clean a house properly, how to do some proper budgeting, do their taxes, know how to actually prep themselves for jobs, know how to, there's so much stuff. There's so many things, and there's an education portion to that.
Right.
So I also recognize that there's the youth, and they have their own struggles. There's a lot of youth out there that are actually homeless, and we don't even know it. Doesn't matter if you're an adult or a child, it's really difficult to know where to go to learn this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
it's important to know where are the supports at? What kind of supports do these places offer?
Right.
So a few classmates and I have been talking about an education system that goes into the school board. Like, we'd have a presentation and we'd actually go and educate and get the youth involved and educate them on where the supports are, where can they go, where is actually appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So an education piece will be definitely thrown into higher ground and
Nice.
bringing awareness.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Because even when you mentioned earlier before the podcast about calling things like 211, like I didn't even know about that.
Yep.
I do 311 and all that, but like 911, but like 211, I was like, interesting.
Yep.
There is a helpline out there.
Yes, there is.
So that's good. And I think that kind of ties into that stuff. Like, yeah, people like me, I don't know if everyone's kind of silly like me that doesn't know, but like there's just not enough things out there right now. And the fact that you're trying to make that more known to everybody, so important, so good. Because, yeah, it's even when I go there and see, I'm like, I'm glad that you have a setup going that people already know to come here. But I'm like, how do they know to begin with? Like, do you remember the first day you set up, how to get your message out there, and were you getting Paul running around?
Okay, so before we started underneath the name of Higher Ground, me and a friend decided to get together and start walking around downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, so at first we had like a cooler with a bit of water, like a pallet of water in that full in there. We had sandwiches done up, bananas and apples. Well, at first it was apples. So we were handing stuff out, kind of talking to some people, getting to know them, learn their name. What is it that they are struggling with? Like, what do they need? What could they use right now that would make a difference?
Right.
And we got a lot of really good feedback. So I was doing that for, I think it was up until March of last year.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a lot of walking around. And
holy moly, you're coming up on a year here too.
Yeah.
With Higher Ground.
Yeah, a year with
Nice.
Higher Ground was on the 18th, so yesterday.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yesterday.
awesome.
Wow. Yeah, holy crap, we've definitely evolved.
Yeah.
Holy, looking back at that, yeah. That was, I think we had an average of like 35 sandwiches and apples and everything put together.
Wow.
We walked around and we started around the Churchill Square because we figured, well, that we see a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm really glad that we started there because there was some people, because it was some of the hottest days of summer when we first started, and people were they were so dehydrated. As soon as they seen that we had water and that it was cold, their day was made.
Right.
Right, and that was before they got they got now little water stations through some of the fire hydrants. You can actually use it for filling up water bottles, and it's just random areas downtown. It's really, really helpful. Now that they've got that, it's game changer.
Nice.
For a lot of people.
See,
yeah.
Another thing I didn't know about.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it was really good. We started kind of getting a couple more people together and meeting like-minded individuals. We grew a bit. We've had a lot of people come walking out with us. My husband Paul, he's come out a lot too.
Yeah.
Until recently, yeah, he was doing as much as he could. We started on Fridays in the afternoon.
Okay.
But I kind of got to the point where we realized that a lot of people are more available in the evening.
Right.
And then we also realized that the resource centers don't necessarily have meals after a certain time, right? So we found that there was actually a need to have those meals even after, that place is closed or whatever. There's so many people, they just miss it because they don't have a watch.
Right.
They don't have a phone. How do they keep track of time?
This is true.
Right?
Is true.
So we at least help fill the needs of those too.
Right.
Yeah, last March we got a little wagon that we were going around with. The tire was flat, so
oh, jeez.
it worked though.
Yeah.
We used it.
We're not doing this today.
Yeah. Yeah. We decided that we would like to be a little bit more stationary because people are needing it at this one spot. A lot of people are always gathering, so at the George Spady, it just seemed realistic to go there. And we started setting up tables and having clothing donations, just expanding completely with the toiletries, gloves, umbrellas, ponchos. Like, depending on the season, we tailor some of our kits and what we bring onto outreach through that. So yeah, looking at now, we've got an average of 6 volunteers on average. We have 3 to 4 tables, sometimes 6 tables worth of goods, hot chocolate and apple cider and water and juice, like growing and right. Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of learning experiences. Alberta Health Services has come to some of our outreaches. Some of them were nurses, and then we had the food inspector that we had a wonderful chat with.
Nice.
I learned what they're good with. We were still in all the ranges. He gave us a thumbs up. So
that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
it's really good to know exactly what we can and cannot. And now looking at, okay, well, we want to offer more than our cheese whiz sandwiches, Nutella and peanut butter and jam.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and jam, though, that's the
Hot
one
commodity.
that goes.
Yeah, that one and hot
goodness.
chocolate. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come get your hot cocoa.
Yeah, and that's usually 80 or so cups of that, and sandwiches now, like, we've more than doubled what we were doing before.
Nice.
Yep.
Gloves too, but I mean gloves, it's like
gloves and
you can never
socks.
have enough gloves because some people need more, so they got to take 1 or 2 for whoever they have with them that might not necessarily be in line or whatever. And I know we try to kind of limit to taking too much because you got to share, right?
We've got limited supplies, so we want to help as many people as possible.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then, you know, a good substitute that I've been noticing is like, well, if we don't have the gloves, but you need something, well, we have tons of socks.
Yep.
Socks can be used as mittens, so.
And socks are a big, big need. Like, everybody's requesting socks all the time.
Of course.
All the time. Doesn't matter what time of year it is.
Well, well, that's the thing. It's like it's people in the winter in their shoes, and you can see they have no socks on. It's like, take a couple pairs. Like, you're going to need it, so.
100%.
Yeah, and I thank goodness we are getting out of that cold spurt.
Well, hey, you know, we had a regular, I think you weren't able to make the one time, we had a regular come up, and she's like, gosh, you guys are out here, rain, snow, minus, oh my glob, like, you guys are always here, thank you for what you do. I'm like, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. Some cold days, but the last recent one made me feel better because it was still sunny, which is a nice thing. And like I was wearing my hoodie, and I'm like, this is ideal. Like spring weather. Fall's probably pretty nice. Summer probably gets kind of hot, I imagine, because
that's when we need a lot of water.
When did you start? Okay, so backpedaling a bit. When did you start the stand then? Like, you were still doing the wagon up until? I
think it was maybe a month into being under higher ground. Like, it just seemed to make more sense. We had, I think it was about 20 Alberta Health Services nurses and staff come out, and we're like, you know what, this is working quite well. So why not set up? People are here. Let's do this. You know. It was just, let's give it a shot. Don't know until you try.
Yeah, exactly. No, straight up.
Yep.
And Higher Ground, great organization. Again, like, just all things considered, the fact that it's got its own spot, it's stationary, you know, people can come out, and now that you're going to have, like, the multiple entities of, like, teaching people and showing them, you know, hey, there's a spot that you can come out to and, you know, get food and get gloves or whatever the season is, you know,
all
like,
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, clothing, you know, it's just nice that there's that spot that's consistently there for, you know, I'm sure in your ideal world you would probably do it more often than, you know, what we're doing now, but with the supplies and people's time, like, I know it gets tough, but, like, I am just so admirable of the fact that you're making it consistent of once a week meeting up, getting everyone together, and we all have little tasks to do, and we all station a certain spot. And actually, it was nice working with you the last time because, you know, I got to talk and hang out with you a little bit more. And usually just like seeing, like, Paul, what he does, I had to, like, kind of, I wanted to do more of that role. And when you got me to go out and, like, hand out some stuff, I was like, okay, this is the takeover. Sorry, Paul. But yeah, when he would go to the Hope Mission and go above and beyond at the other streets there, and just, like, either bring food with him or clothing, and if not at that point, if he wasn't doing that, he'd be going up to tents and that and telling people where to go. Like, I was like, that's huge, because I didn't have the confidence at first to do that. I was like, the first venture out that I did with him, and I think it was David. It was I was just so blown away. He can just talk to anyone off the streets and just be like regular Paul, you know, and everybody loves Paul. Like.
Oh heck yeah! How can they not?
Yeah.
Like, come
Oh,
on.
man of the hour. We're gonna
Yeah.
gloat about him now, but yeah, no, seriously, I was like taken back. I knew how his character is and how he does things, but I just didn't know it was so like with everybody like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't shy away from anything, and yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. So
I think that also is helpful that we kind of already were going to different tents, so we kind of had. Well, it was like June I started, and then it was the following March that we'd started Higher Ground. So like that's a long time to be going up to people's tents saying, "Hey, I got some sandwiches, I got some snacks. Do you
Yeah.
want a drink?" Like,
wait, June you started as Higher Ground?
no, March we started as Higher Ground, but the June before that is when I started going out with a friend and doing it. And
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you've almost been doing this for 2 years then?
yes,
Oh, geez. Okay, I see. So you were just doing it not under a name. You were just doing it because
that's correct.
kindness of your heart. I mean, still doing it out of the kindness of your heart, but having like a name and an establishment and like I said, a spot to go to.
Yep.
So much more ideal. Yeah. All got to start somewhere. It's like this podcast.
Absolutely.
Shooting on one phone and just having the MacBook track the audio. It's like, I want to do it, so I'm starting with whatever I have, you know, and hopefully one day have more cameras and someone help me with the editing and, you know, all that fun stuff. But yeah, no, that's cool. So on that lovely note, we're going to kind of stray away from the Higher Ground aspect, and I want to get into your photography. What made you want to pursue that? What got your eye captured, if you will, into taking pictures and doing stuff with nature and even with bands?
Yeah. Okay, so I've been around the camera all my life. My grandmother has a book like this for my baby book.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So it's kind of a passion that I got from my grandmother. I was pretty young when I got to handle cameras and start taking pictures. I've developed film in the dark room and got to see the
Nice.
chemical. Oh, it's so neat, so neat. I always looked at photography as capturing a moment in time that we can never relive outside of memory.
Right.
Right. I loved the nature that I was always around. I've been a nature person my whole life. So I'm taking pictures of flowers and just little things. It's finding the little details in life that you can find that's so beautiful and only lasts for a certain period of time. And you'll never really see it again the exact same, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always had an eye for it. And it's just something that I found therapeutic after a while. When I was about 21, I decided, all right, I'm wanting to get a little bit more into it and do more nature stuff and just learn the camera itself a little bit more, because we went from film to DSLR, right? So there is a difference.
Yeah.
Like, you never used to be able to tell what your pictures would look like,
Yeah.
right, until they're developed.
This is true.
Yeah.
Do you still do some stuff like that with the
No.
I was going to
No,
say, probably not, eh?
Eventually, I might get back into it. I still have a bunch of film cameras. I have a 1940s camera that I have the film for still
No
to this
way.
day. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Is that from your grandma?
Yeah, it sure is.
Nice.
Yeah. So I can. I'll probably do it again eventually, but right now I'm just going to stick with what I got.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I went from deciding to take pictures of nature to a couple friends asking me, hey, do you want to take pictures of me? You take really good pictures. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
why not?
Guess we could do that.
Yeah, I didn't do it too often, and then I got myself my first DSLR, a really good one. The changeable lenses, like the T2i, the Canon. That one was my baby. Bought her while she was still somewhat new, and
Nice. And you still have it, right?
I do. She's on my shelf.
Nice.
She's with my collection, 100%. I
Nice.
did a lot of work with that camera.
No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. And you're still rocking a Canon, right?
I sure am, but it's because I know it. I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with it, right? I have Nikon film cameras and that, but
Yeah.
my DSLR is Canon.
Nice.
Yeah. I went through some personal development programs and was like, hey, I got to get over my limiting beliefs around the fact that you can't make money with photography. That was probably the biggest thing that photographers drilled into me while I was modeling. Oh, you cannot make money at this unless you're a model. And even so, we'll see. It depends,
Yeah.
right? And I heard that throughout the whole 13 years I was doing modeling.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Vancouver, here, like all over the place. So it was definitely an eye changer when I'm like, okay, I'm going to believe in myself now. I know I can do this. People want me to take their photos. Like, what is stopping me? And of course, it's that limiting belief. So once I turned that around, well, COVID didn't stop me.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you kept going through it, because do you believe that that was negative talk from those people, or were they just trying to kind of give a harsh viewpoint of the world, I guess? Because it's like, it's not true.
It's their experiences.
Yeah.
Right? And they only see it through their lens, right?
Of course.
Maybe they weren't so successful in certain areas that others have been,
Mhm.
right? And maybe they have their own limiting belief systems that are generating that from even a child. You can have those limiting belief systems ingrained in you,
Yeah, true.
and you don't even know it. It's a subconscious thing, right? So, yeah, I think it's just their belief systems in general, and maybe their experiences.
Yeah. Dang. Because
Yeah.
it's like you want to hear the harsh reality sometimes to like
Mhm.
make yourself aware that, you know, things are going to be tough, but the grind, like I like to think if it's not going to pay off for you, at least get like something out of it, you know, like
Mhm.
the enjoyment. And yeah, like I said, I was just curious if that was negative talk or they were trying to be like kind of realistic with you in the starting stages, because I know it's like, even when we were saying with this podcast, it's all just stuff that you have to start somewhere, and
Yeah.
you know, it might not blow up right away, or it might, you know, you never know what the case may be, but like just do it for fun, because I mean, we only have one life as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but I'm like I said, I'm glad that you just like kept through it. And you know, I don't really think you're doing the modeling as much as the photography anymore, are you?
No, there is just some experiences that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna step back for a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair. And so then you just, like, when did you get the studio?
Well, the first time I had been part of renting the space was in December or November, sorry, of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed lease February of 2020 and have been there ever since.
Nice.
Yeah,
Jeez,
so
through
almost-
the rough parts though.
Heck
Hey?
yeah.
It's like, oh, here's COVID now.
But you've seen how big the studio space is, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what the amount of space you have to have between each other. Like 6 feet is so easy in that space.
This is true.
So easy,
Yeah.
right? So that was probably one of my saving graces as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Because with all those restrictions and that, you know, you got to try and accommodate to a certain degree, and then, you know, still realize that there's work that's got to be done. But
Yep.
from my experience with it, you guys did everything professionally and, you know, on par. So, yeah, it's one of those things that, like I said, you guys went through the tough times, so now you're at the, you know, I wouldn't say it's not tough anymore. You know, there's still financial burdens, I'm sure,
Oh, heck
and
yeah.
everything like that,
Yeah.
but not having to deal with the stress of those things they had in place at the time, you know, which, again, nothing against it. It's just one of those things that everybody had to deal with. And I actually gave out a shout out to a guy on the last podcast and it goes for anyone who's in the arts that just like got through COVID, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Their band didn't break up or whatever they were in, you know, they were an artist and they didn't stop drawing and putting their work out there. Actually, it's kind of side related, but like at Bonnie Doon Mall today, they were having a art gallery.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've like, again, there's not really much going on that I've seen that says they were doing that. It was just like I walked in and I was gonna go to Dollarama to grab something for the house, and yeah, the whole walk there I had stuff to look at. It was really neat.
That's cool.
And yeah, so just having those, I don't know where I was going with that note, but like just having those things that like you're passionate about, you know, like, and just going through, like I said, tough times. That's what it was about. The going through the tough times to get to the end goal it's just like, it's always worth it no matter what, as long as you are super passionate about it, you like doing it, and yada yada yada. But yeah, so this you started doing photography before Higher Ground, and so like, is there some things that you might incorporate with photography into Higher Ground?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So at the beginning, I was bringing my camera around as well. Asking, of course, first, asking if I can take a picture of them. And Tyson is one of those people.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's still a regular-ish, right? He still comes around.
Right.
I've seen him where he was almost 2 years ago and where he is now. And it's sad to see.
Yeah.
But it's nice to document some of that and to learn about him and his story. And so when I do get an event put together here, I got some stuff in the works, but whenever that does end up transpiring, I'm actually going to have a bunch of photos of some of the people that I've worked with in the past, have a bit of their story, because that's also something that I wanted to do, is capture people's stories. We can learn from other people.
Yeah.
Right? So learning about them and taking their photo and just being able to document it the entire way. And it's been really interesting to learn and see and just observe people too, and getting their story told, showing people that this needs awareness. There's so much that goes into becoming homeless, and nobody is invisible.
Yeah.
I've met people that have been homeless and turned into lawyers. I've seen people that have master's degrees and became homeless.
Right.
No one is invisible, but you can always get through it.
Yeah.
And that's what I also want to have people see through the photography aspect. Because we do have a lady that we met, her name's Mary, go figure. She was like my opposite, but in ways it was interesting to see the reflection of myself in her too.
Right.
She's the biggest success that I've observed in my time doing this, and I'm so proud of her. She's housed now. She was on the streets for 14 years. I've been off the street for about 14 years.
Yeah.
We're around the same age. I think there's only a year difference between us.
Okay.
It was just, she's got kids, and they were taking I never had that experience because I had kids after I got off the streets, right?
Right.
But it's beautiful to see that she got a phone, she's got a job, she had a place on the other side of Wyatt Ave, closer to the U of A.
Nice.
She got off of the streets, and I'm super proud of her. Haven't seen her back on there, so the last number I have for it, I haven't gotten a hold of her since, but you know, it's everybody changes their phone.
Totally.
Make it happen.
Totally.
Right,
and even there's still can be that hope, like you said, for people like that Tyson guy. Like I know he's been a consistent one that we've been seeing there for a while now, and like I mean, I don't know the progress that you know, obviously, because you've been around it way longer, but you know, I think that, like I said, it's just having that there for them, even though they're still dealing with things and, you know, going through the battle of everyday life in general. It's huge. And those stories, like even some of the stories that Mary or like April have told me about like their lives, and then like getting to know them now through Higher Ground, it's like night and day. Like people come from some crazy backgrounds, and and it's just nice to see the upsides of things, you know. You got to realize that there's hard times and there's battles, but there are upsides, and I mean, you're living proof. So
it took a lot of work.
a lot of work. Lots of nice things for you now, right? And
it's paid off.
Yeah. It's nice seeing the van pull around the corner. I'm like, I remember van life, you know.
Yeah.
And it brings so much. Like it's so helpful. Like all the tables and all the.
Yeah, I'm pretty packed up right now too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I picked up 3 big bags from a friend that owns a horse rescue.
Okay.
I was able to get. I found a ton of socks that I didn't realize that I still had. I've got boots. I've got clothing of all sorts. So much awesome stuff. I can't wait.
Nice. That's good. Yeah. Now, is there any other avenue you dip your toes into that I don't know of? Like you got photography, you got Higher Ground. What else are you doing that you'd like to share? Like, is there any other little hobbies that you have on the go that you're kind of, I'm getting pretty passionate about this?
I love doing my bracelets and stuff. I have a huge thing for these. So 7 out of the 8 that I'm wearing, I made myself.
Nice.
Yeah, I love stones. I love metaphysical stuff. Just
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
This
one of my
is
favorite
side.
stores in the Bonnie Doon Mall is that Rocks store.
Oh, Rocks is awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
All that stuff is cool. And it's nice to just like even just go in there and kind of like it's almost like relaxing to me because they have those like I think they're medicine bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you just like
It's
ring it
singing,
once.
yep.
And the vibe that goes through your body when it like happens, it's so cool. It's so unique. And yeah, no, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah, so I did that on the side. I don't know. I got so much with traveling and my kids and
Right.
family. Right, like I can't wait for the summer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got some big plans?
Heck yeah, we're gonna go to the island. We're gonna spend a good time because I used to live between Vancouver and Victoria on Salt Spring Island and Main Island,
Okay.
and I haven't been able to bring my kids or Paul there. So I'm excited.
see.
I'm like, okay, I got it all budgeted out. Now let's do this. I
Right.
can't wait. It's gonna be
Nice.
so nice.
Yeah, no
Go see
doubt.
some old friends and yeah, show them some of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen.
That's awesome. And I don't know if you already mentioned it, but how long have you been doing that for?
Oh, this about a year roughly.
Okay.
I just do it on the side. It's something that helps me with my ADHD.
Okay, nice.
I gotta have
Nice.
something that I'm doing with my hands at all times.
Right.
So.
Got to keep busy.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. But hey, now I know that.
Yeah.
I might pay you to make me one.
Heck yeah. And we can sit down and talk about what you're looking to get from it. And
Heck yeah.
yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. I look into a lot of different things. I'm just random, and some of the things that I've noticed about the different stones are really cool.
Yeah.
Never would have thought, and hey, it's fun to make and fun to play with. It's good fidget.
Yeah, well, that too. Trust. Yeah, it is nice to have something there that you're. I remember in school, I was always just like tapping on something as a drummer too.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But like, yeah, always tapping at something. So that's awesome. So now to my question that I originally asked at the beginning of these things, but I'm waiting until now to do it. 2023. What are your goals for this year for anything and everything? I want to hear them all.
Okay, well, due to some recent events, I'm going to take the summer off.
Okay.
And I'll go back to school in September.
Okay.
It's the first summer I've had off in 4 years, since January of 2019.
Wow.
So it's definitely needed, but there's going to be a lot of revamping of Whispering Valley photography. I'm going to be working a lot more behind the scenes on a few more aspects before I do a full-on launch and like I'm full-time kind of deal.
Right.
I can't wait. I'm going to have so much of my materials. I've still been working on some samples of the products that I offer. So I haven't shown you guys this, but I have metal prints that are freaking awesome.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I can drop them and maybe the side will dent a little bit, but that's about it. It's not going to shatter like regular glass would on a photo, right?
Right.
So I've got some really neat stuff coming in the works. I can get stuff from Italy, from Ireland, and just I got so many samples to order. So there's going to be a lot of that stuff working on growing my business, kind of getting my name more out there. The more I work with BNI, the better, and the more my name gets around there. So I'm really building up for Whispering Valley. And then once I get back into school, I can be like, okay, so this is what's going to work. And this is how I'm going to have everything set up and have my certain hours and times that I'll shoot. And
Nice.
yeah, I'll be fully structured finally. And I'll have the full-on mathematics on how much per sale that I get with my photography is going to higher ground.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
'Cause why not?
Like
That 'cause-
portions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, portions of it, yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Higher ground is just growing. I'm going to be throwing an event this year. I don't care what it takes. It's happening. I don't know exactly when. I have a couple of things in the works, but I've been working now in partnership with the Artist Business Center.
Oh, hey.
So Jessie Tom's amazing, lovely lady.
Yes.
I love working beside her, and we're working on some stuff. So I'll be doing more stuff with the bands, and so I will have access to 2 studios.
Ooh,
Yeah,
fancy.
and it's gonna be fun. There's so much that's gonna grow with that as well. I'm helping people get their bands going is going to be huge, and all kinds of different artists, and it's not just bands, you know. People need headshots. People need to brand themselves, get
true.
their self known, and when you go and take a photograph professionally, it says a whole different thing than if you're just taking it with your cell phone.
Right.
There's a whole different vibe to it. There's more to it than we actually realize. I mean, I spend almost 14 hours on average per person between the editing, the calls, the actual session, and like everything said and done. It's a lot of time.
A lot of work.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of growth for Whispering Valley this year.
Nice.
A lot.
Nice.
A lot. Yeah, Higher Ground. It's the event. I want to get some more fundraisers going. So we're going to be working on that and behind the scenes a little bit and doing some growth with that. And yeah, there's tons on the go.
That big event, you don't have a set day for?
Not fully yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
aiming.
I have a few things in the works. I don't have anything set in stone quite yet. So when I do, I'll be announcing it and everyone will know.
Nice. And you mentioned schooling. Are you going
Yes.
back to school for something?
So I'm just in my last year of my bachelor for business.
Oh, okay.
Specializing in entrepreneurship and innovation.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just about done that degree. Oh.
Nice. Okay, so your last year. So how long does the degree go for?
Well, technically it's a 4-year study.
Okay.
But because I have way too much in my life and have family and want to like try allocate, I take 3 courses per semester 3 times a year.
Okay, I see.
So like January to April, and then May till August, and September to December. It's a lot.
Lots. Yeah, I imagine that you're gonna have to just dedicate a lot more time to it when you go back in September too, right?
Well, yeah, in a way, yeah, 'cause these courses in the 4th year are a heck of a lot more intense, that's for sure. I didn't think that it was going to be possible to do a business plan on a nonprofit in 3 months.
Right. Here we are.
It's a good thing, yeah. Almost there.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Majority of it's done, so getting pretty far.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I thought that there was something going on with like the business, because with your Whispering Valley and that, and even Higher Ground, it's like something about like running a thing, like a program,
Yes.
and whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so this is all making sense to me now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you said before this year that you're going back, it was since you haven't gone since 2019.
No, I've been going since January
Oh,
2019.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm still in
Gotcha.
class today.
Okay.
Semester ends at the end of April, like April 20th or something.
Wow. I
Yeah.
see. But this year around, it's going to be, or when the summer hits, you're not going to be working and just going to school.
I'm not going to be going to school at all from May until September.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
taking
gotcha.
it off. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you meant. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Wow. You've been doing schooling the whole year round?
Yes.
With kids and doing photography and doing Higher Ground. I don't know how you do it. That's crazy.
I have a lot of support and some amazing people around me.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Shout out, Paul.
And my mother-in-law.
Okay,
She does.
okay.
She helps us so much. I'm
Nice.
grateful for her.
Nice.
100%. I don't know like how it functions sometimes without her.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shout out to her.
Heck yeah, Ruth's the best.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Well, I think I'm getting kind of close to that time. Now, I already asked about 2023 and that. So, we've got some goals already situated out and what you're wanting to do. So, when this year finishes, obviously Higher Ground's going to be at a different stage in Whispering Valley. Like, you're going to be taking that to like, is Whispering Valley going to be your whole, like, aside from doing Higher Ground, like I said, like, is Whispering Valley going to be like hopefully the what you do all the time sort of thing
Oh, heck yeah.
for like work and that?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm so passionate about it. I love it so much, and I know so much about it. Why wouldn't I? 'Cause
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of courses. I have a mentor. I've got a lot on the go on that end. That's my final goal, and I want to have both because I can eventually. I won't have to sit on the board with Higher Ground. I can actually observe it from afar and just go and volunteer myself and enjoy some of the time too and give it up because it's not meant to be in my hands forever.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to die sometime.
Yeah, gotcha.
And it's good to have new people into the board, and just sometime I will step back and I'll just be solely doing Whispering Valley, but I'll still always have that stream going down to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're going to pass it off at one point, I guess. It's
Eventually.
like everything. It's, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't own it.
Yeah.
Nobody does when it's nonprofit.
Right.
Right?
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's cool still, you know, because
Yeah.
photography is what you want to be doing. So full time with that.
Yeah, and I can do photojournalism and continue with getting stories from people that are homeless or have experienced it. And
Right.
I've been kind of working in the back with some groups on Facebook. So I'm a part of the Street Kids All Grown Up page on Facebook.
Okay.
And so a lot of us, we take old photos from when we were homeless or when we were on our street kid families, and we'll post it up there. But I've asked a few people if I could get their stories. So I've been working a little bit on the side for the last 2 years, just getting stories and that. And I'm not sure. Well, I'll probably be doing a magazine and a small book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Crazy.
Mhm.
Nice. Nice.
Lots of big goals.
Do you have a book already? No. Okay. So that'll be your first.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're stoked about that.
There's a lot of really interesting things that I have learned. A lot. So it's I think it'll be a realization and an awareness kind of piece too.
Right. Okay. Nice. And then you said a magazine.
Yep.
Thing. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll explain. I'll have a couple photos. I'll have some of the stories, and sometime it might become one of Higher Ground's monthly thing, like do a monthly magazine about how we're making a difference, what we're doing in the community, how others can help and get involved, and yeah, there's tons on the go.
Interesting. Nice. And so it's not going to be. It's going to be part of a magazine that's already out there. It's not going to be its own.
No, it'll be its own.
Oh, its own magazine. Okay. Yep. Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got other photographers that I've been talking to a little bit too about their work in the homeless area and getting their stories too. Like, it'd be awesome to have other people's experiences brought into that magazine as well, and then we can feature other photographers' work. We can help people get their stories told too, from another person's perspective and questions, and yeah.
Is it going to be like an interview-based kind of thing?
Possibly.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I've primarily been doing right now is
Right.
the interview aspect. Yeah, I have one gentleman that we've been talking, oh gosh, I think it's just been the last 6 months that we haven't talked every week, but yeah, he's the founder of, it's called The Family. I can't remember what the full name is, but they call it The Family. It's been around since the 90s. I've been talking to him and his VP, well, like his right-hand man throughout the entire thing, and I'm going to tell his story. That's going to be the book, most likely.
And how long have you been talking to him for?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. Wow. I'm sure he's got quite the story he's been telling, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's amazing what people go through and what they push through and how far they can come in life.
Yeah, no
That
doubt.
determination can make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Heck yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm looking forward to having something to read, you know, and yeah, kind of hearing some more of the stories that, you know, I know a lot of them come up and tell us a little bit of the stories too. Yep. And I've been around you when some of them have expressed more than a couple words, right? So it's nice, you know. There's a lot that people don't realize that is going on within like that area, you know. Let alone like, yeah, the teardowns of the tents and the fires or whatever, because it's like, I'm still kind of curious how some people were surviving during those like -40 nights. Like that night that we went out, and it was just before Christmas, but it was that Christmas event that we did. That was freezing.
Yeah, it was. That was really cold.
So like,
I think I have the temperature somewhere recorded. 'Cause
Okay.
It was ridiculously cold.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And again, another reason why I'm looking forward to the summer, spring and summer. But yeah, like, I mean, people got to do what they got to do. And as long as it's not causing like too much havoc, I think, you know, there's got to be that reasonable line of letting them do what they got to do. And, you know, okay, well, don't burn the whole place down sort of thing. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to do what you got to do to stay warm. And I just like props to everyone that is staying warm out there while, you know, having what they have as a roof over their head. So
yeah, and I hope that when we are providing some of our supplies to them, that they do get to stay warm, stay safe. That's what I always tell them. You've heard it come out of my mouth a lot. You know, stay warm, stay safe.
Yeah, that's like your catchphrase.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But
well,
it's true. I want them to stay warm, and I hope that our stuff will help them stay warm.
Yes, of course. Well, do those places like the Bissell closes at a certain time, but does Hope Mission ever really close?
depends on the area that you're
Okay.
in. So they do have like a triage emergency kind of little nook in there. So when we see somebody with really bad blisters on the feet or bad cuts or a piece of a tree stuck in their leg, some of the stuff is, I feel so bad for them, but we bring them over to the Hope Mission so that they can attend to them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the newer Hope Mission,
Yes.
right? Because they still have the older one.
Yeah, and it's right beside it.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep.
I drive by it every day for work, so it's like, I'm like, oh, one other street over is the New Hope Mission and the George Spady, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's good that they have those sources out there, but it's still, like, in my opinion, probably yours too, it's not enough.
We need a lot more supports, and it's really needed in the health industry sector. Like, mental health is one of the biggest reasons why people are on the streets.
Yeah.
You know, they've gone through some type of trauma and they don't know how to cope, so they turn to drugs, and then that turns into not having a home because they can't afford it because they're putting it all on their drugs and the coping mechanism. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
You know, we need that support in the healthcare industry. We need the support in our mental health, and for the stigmas to be put down, because if we could at least address our mental health concerns, I bet you this world would look 100 times different.
Heck yeah. And I think with those little entities that you're going to be doing separate, well, part of Higher Ground, but, you know, applying into it, I think it's really going to help. I think we'll see a big difference in how people, you know, even approach us. Because I know some people get kind of moody. They're not in a good mood that day, you know, and it's like, okay, but, you know, everyone's dealing with something on any given day.
Yes.
And, you know, to hear some of, like I said, from what I've already heard now, I'm like, it's an eye-opener. It makes you appreciate what you have right now. Like, it ain't much, but it's a roof over my head. I always try to be thankful for where I'm at and what I got going on, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, like, with their stories, like I said, it resonates hard. And for somebody who's gone through it, you know, themselves, and then doing this, like, I'm just like, I'm gassing you up here, you know, like, praising you a lot, but it's true. It's a lot of work that people don't know about, and you know, I want your story to be heard. I want it to be known, and yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Like, it's just such a good thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the magazine. I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing you on the outskirts of things, you know, for the future, and schooling. You know, it's gonna be a big one for you to finish it off. And
almost there. I got 3 semesters left. That's it.
Getting near the end.
That's it. Yeah.
Near the end. Awesome. But on that lovely note, I will get you to shoot off some of your socials if you want. I know you have a lot of things, so like, if you can remember them, or you want to look at your phone, all good. But
that's the 2 main. So Whispering Valley Photography, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, everything pretty much. And I have my website, whisperingvalleyphotography.com. It will be getting some more updates to it and some adjustments, but it's there. There's tons to look at.
Nice.
And got higherground.yeg. That's on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We are starting to revamp our social media, so that'll have a little bit more of a presence on other avenues other than Facebook.
Totally, yeah. Start diving into TikTok and that.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're doing more than me. I still haven't
Slowly.
I don't even have the app. So.
Well, it's a big, like, this could go on there, and you'd be surprised the following you get.
People tell me all the time.
Yeah.
It's not that I have anything against it. It's just, it's one of those things that I gotta, like, I'm very, like, okay, I gotta have a good first step onto a platform. So, like, what's it gonna be, you know? And aside from Twitter, that's the only one that I just, like, started just to have. Like, I don't think I have, like, any followers on there. But, like, it's just one of those ones that, you know, eventually one day maybe I'll go and invest some time into it and kind of try and make it into somewhat of a platform of itself. But yeah, same with TikTok. A little more with TikTok, because I want to make sure, like, my first video is, like, it's going to land pretty well, you know, for the most part. No high expectations or anything, but yeah.
Keep practicing, learn. That's all you can do.
Exactly.
Give it a shot. Find what works and what doesn't, because there is no failures.
Yeah, this. Right here. Telling me I got a low battery. Okay, anyways, though, I got a little bit to cheers you with. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And that's MJ from Higher Ground in Whispering Valley. You already told your socials and that, so yeah, once again, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Take care. Now we're at the house.